Didn't know where that was going. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Wanted to talk about something again today. I gotta remember, that's the volume? There we go. And before we get too far in the video, I did want to say this video is not sponsored in any way by any of the companies that I'm going to talk about. I will, however, link down below some of my favorite affordable guitars, this being one of them. This is my trusty Danelectro I've had for quite a few years now. I don't know if they do this finish anymore, but yeah, I'll link it down below. This is one of my favorite ones. So let me know some of your favorite, more affordable guitars down below. This guitar's always confused me. So I want to talk about, are cheap guitars ruining everything? And a question I get asked a whole bunch is why I don't review Harley Benton guitars. Obviously, they are extremely popular here on YouTube. And I have reviewed one before. It's always kind of the funny thing. People are like, why won't you review the Harley Benton guitars? Or like, you know, why don't you? And it's like, well, I did a long time ago. Like I got one guitar from them 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I'm not even sure. If I remember to, I'll link the video below. And I thought they were great. You know, the whole reason why I don't really like venture down that avenue anymore is I just think that there are channels who are doing it way better than what I could ever do. Like, you know, people who really are getting into the specs of those guitars, because the affordable guitar thing and, you know, cheap, I don't like the word cheap, so affordable is kind of like taken over. You know, it's the hot new thing. You know, you have all of the, what are they called? Donners, the Glaries, all these guitars, and it's kind of a race to the bottom. Like, who can make the cheapest guitar but still be good? And I don't necessarily think that there's a bad thing with that, because what happens is that forces a lot of like the bigger companies to up their game, and that's probably why we've seen Epiphone and Squier. I mean, they're producing some of the best guitars that they've ever made here recently. And I mean, other than maybe like the, you know, MIJ Squiers from like way back in the day. But the normal stuff, I think that this whole like affordable guitar craze that has happened has made a lot of the big dogs up quality a lot. They want to make sure like, hey, you know, you're still paying more for our stuff than the Glary or whatever it is, but here's why. You know, it's got, you know, CTS pots or whatever kind of like special things they throw in there. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. You know, some people really, really despise, I see it in the comment section, this kind of stuff. And I love the idea of an affordable guitar. You know, I think that guitars have come along such a long way, even from the time that I started playing. So I've been playing for 16, 17 years now. And the beginner guitars, man, they were not very good back then. And I've heard people tell stories from back in the 80s and 90s, and you know, those guitars were even worse. So now I pick up some of these budget guitars. Like I just played a Glary for the first time ever. It was in Guitar Center, or it wasn't a Glary. It was a Glary or Donner, I can't remember what it was. It was in a Guitar Center. I'm like, hey, I wanna play one of those. Was I like blown away by the guitar? No, like, you know, I don't personally want one, but I'm like, dude, this thing's like, I think it was like 50 bucks used or something like that. I'm like, this is a good guitar for 50 bucks. Even their asking price, you know, it's like $100 and some, like for a new one. I'm like, hey, these are great starter guitars. Or if you're a person who's really wanting to get into maybe routing out guitars for, you know, to go from single coil to humbuckers or whatever it is, I think that they're great. I think it's cool that there's this option available to us now. Now, I would be curious to know what you guys think, but like I said before, I think what has happened is it has made a lot of the bigger companies, I mean, think about PRS or, like I said, Fender, Gibson, they have also all come out with these more affordable range than what they even had before. Like, look at the import PRSs from a few years ago, and then what, the DGT was like $700 and some. I'm like, wow, look, they're really they're dropping prices, even though I know everything's going up. But I think that this cheaper kind of like guitar market that has kind of like infiltrated the system is actually helping a little bit keep that stuff down. So let's see. I'm curious what you guys think about that, because it does astonish me whenever you see these guitars like $75 for a new guitar, and I'm like, it can't possibly be good. And then I finally play one of them, and I'm like, you know what? It's not bad. It's one of those. It's like, you know, it's a 10-foot guitar. Like, you know, from a distance it looks good, it sounds good. You know, if it looks like a Strat, it sounds like a Strat. It's whenever you really dig in and look like I said, when I really started looking at it, I'm like, fretwork was okay, a little shoddy, and I don't know, that kind of stuff. But like a more affordable guitar that I wanted to kind of like showcase that you guys have seen in a lot of stuff, and I just personally love, is I love my Danelectros. Now these are made in Korea, and I'm not sure what they run new nowadays, but I mean, you can find them used in music stores for, I think I just saw one for like $200 or $300 used, and they are so cool. They're more if you're going for that unique vibe. Like if you really want something like funky and different, the Dano. I mean, of course, I'm just, you know, a Jimmy Page freak, so I want a Danelectro. But and that's kind of why, you know, I originally got into them. But I mean, I have a 12-string now, and a baritone, and a not a dobro, but a bunch of stuff. Like, they make really funky guitars. So affordable guitars, check them out. Like, I'll link. Actually, that's a good idea. I'll throw that in the front of the video too here. But if you're looking for something more affordable and different, I mean, check out the Danelectros. They're just fun and different, and I don't think that it's a bad thing that these cheaper guitars are existing now. So anyways, I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, and I'll be seeing you all with the next video. Bye, homies.